Hello, my name is Aaron and welcome back to the Retro Gaming Collective. So we're going to do another Goodwill thrifting hunt today. I don't have as much time today as I did the last episode, um, but I'm going to try and hit at least one Goodwill, maybe two, and go back to Thrifties because they're real close by. And then I found some other new thrift shop that I've never been to, but I saw good reviews online, and it looks like they carry games based on what I saw online, like decent stuff. I don't know if it's more of a pawn shop or a thrift store, but it's called Bargain Zone Thrift Store, but it looks like a pawn shop, so we'll see. So let's get to it. All right, so here we are at Goodwill number one. This is actually the Goodwill in my college town. The issue with them is they tend to put really high dollar price tags on their games, but we're going to go see what they have. Hopefully we can find some deals to start the day off. All right, so I turned off the volume on this because there was a conversation going on next to me and music going on in the background. So just figured I would flip it off and talk a little bit. Nothing really to talk about here. You see I found Lord of the Rings. There's Men in Black 2, and some other little sports games in there. Nothing crazy. Splinter Cell, there's not a ton of value with those. But, I always like the Splinter Cell games personally. And then this thing, I'll tell you about that in just a second. All right, so I didn't pick up anything in there. A lot of the games, the couple of things they had were $7 to $10 for resale value. But typically their games go for about $5 if they're unmarked. So nothing really worth it. I considered the episode 3, the Star Wars PS2 game, because they go for about $10, but it wasn't complete. It was missing the manual, so I'd have to, sell it for a little cheaper. So nothing there. And the other thing is, I always find those, like, I've never actually seen them in the box in a Goodwill like that, but like that complete, like knockoff game system, because you never know what kind of games you're gonna find on there. They're usually pretty crappy, but it's always kind of fun to like pick through those and see if you find any like weird hidden gems, or sometimes they're just fun because they're bad. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I thought I would show you. It was $10, which isn't horrible. It wouldn't have been a horrible investment for like a night of fun, or if you want to call it fun. But let's move on. Let's see what we can find at the next stop. Sorry for the dirty windshield, but we're back here at Thrifties, Thrift Shop. Last time I was here, they didn't have a whole lot. Like I said, they've been dry lately. So we'll see what we can find. Let's go. Here we are at Thrifties. Let's see what's going on. This is crazy. Guys, I am literally freaking out right now. That was one of the best hauls that I have ever had. I walked in, I got 48 games between 48 games between the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. I can't even take the time in the car to pull them all out. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna call it a day, because that's all I need. That's more than what I need. I actually was talking to one of the thrift shop workers, and she said that they literally had just put that stack out, and I'd walked right into it. So I paid $67 for 48 games. There are tons of wrestling games. I'm blown away. I mean, this haul is going to be worth hundreds of dollars. So let's go home and see what we got. I mean, I literally, like, my car is gross, but I got these 2 massive trash bags full of games, and I am so stoked right now. All right, let's go see what we got. Guys, here we are. Look at this stuff. Back in the game room, just basking in this glory. All interesting stuff, like all weird, cool games, except, NCAA games. So I took a chance on that one. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to price chart everything out, and then I will show you the chart and then go from there. All right, check back in a couple minutes. All right, so I couldn't get my Excel to work, so I just did everything by hand here. I separated it by the PS2 and original Xbox, just so I could get a grand total for each. So the grand total of worth, this is price charting as of January 9th, I believe it is today. It's a Saturday. So price charting as of that date. For PS2, we're looking at a grand total of $310. And then if we look at the original Xbox, which I did not get as much, we're looking at around $141, which brings us to a total of $451 in value for $67. Not a bad day by any means. I would say this has got to be one of my greatest finds. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the games that we hit best on and the games that we struck out on. So let's go and do that. All right, so we got a ton to talk about here. So first, I just want to show you the receipt just so you can see that I paid $67. Can you see that? $67.68 for 48 games at $1.41 a piece. It's crazy, right? Just crazy. So let's talk about where I struck out first. And obviously, like at this point, I was just grabbing everything off the shelf that I'd either never heard of or thought was interesting. I did not get every game. I left a lot of the Cabela's games and things like that, a lot of sports games. So for whoever wants to go clean up after me. So where I struck out was really these two. So this one I had gotten an MVP, I think 07 the other day. Anyway, and that was like a $10 game or something like that. But this one's worth maybe $5 at most, MVP 06 for the original Xbox. But you know, you never know with the NCAAs, so with a lot like this, I'm going to make my money back anyway, so it's worth a shot. And then I got NBA Inside Drive 2002. And sometimes, like, these odd sports games like this can end up being, you know, really interesting. But what's cool is it's still an Xbox original exclusive, right? So I still got that to add to my collection. Those are not going to be worth selling, but it's two new Xbox games that I didn't have. So there's that. Now the fun stuff. This is where I struck it big. These are the big ones. So for the original Xbox, I only really had one big one that was like, this is really cool, and that's Vex. Now this one I'd actually never heard of, but it looks like a little platformer. And you know, if you guys know my gaming style, this is right up my alley. So I'm really excited to have this one. And what's cool about a lot like this is I get to pick and choose what I sell. And this will probably be one that I add to the collection just because it's interesting and different. So there's that. Now moving over to the PS2, we got the Incredible Hulk. Now I am not a huge Marvel superhero fan. That's not my thing. So this one goes for about $17, and this one I will be selling. I believe it is complete, which is really cool. Like a lot of these games, like whoever had these, like really took care of them. They're in great shape. The discs look really good. So I'm just really pleased. You know, the case is always, you know, when you get a case this old, they're naturally going to have some little things going on. But this one looks really good. So this one's definitely going to get sold. And now here's the craziest part, right? So we talked, if you watched my episode 1, and really some of my other videos, I've talked about how wrestling games have been selling like hotcakes. But most of the money in this lot came from these wrestling games in the PS2. So I got SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. We got 2007. We got 2008 again. We got 2009. And then we got 2010. So we got 06 through 2010. This is really cool. I might actually bundle all of these together and sell them together. Because you know, some wrestling fan like would love to get their hands on like a full set. And I have to look and see if there were any older ones or any ones that came after this. But I can definitely kind of market these together, which is cool. And then this one was the top find. This one goes for about $34. Again, another wrestling game. So this one is SmackDown. It's WWE, I think. I'm not huge on wrestling. But Here Comes the Pain with Brock Lesnar right on the front. So this one's really cool. It is not complete. But still a really good find for $1.41, right? And then the final find is NFL Street 2. And this is about a $20 game. I already actually have this one for my collection, so I will be selling this one as well. And Yeah, this one is complete, so that's really cool. So, all in all, really like my best haul I've ever had as far as games go, and value-wise. I am not sure what I'm going to be keeping yet and what I'm going to be selling, but it's really cool that I kind of have 48 games to go through and decide, like, hey, I want this, or hey, I don't. So really awesome. And this is the kind of thing that, like, you know, when you're a game hunter, when you do this kind of thing, that you like dream of. This is the kind of lot, like, I literally started drooling when I saw that full shelf of PS2 and Xbox games. So just really cool for me. Yeah, so at this point, I am going to start working on this stuff. Try to edit this video a little bit, get it together, get it out there. And if you guys like the content, let me know. If you have any questions, you can comment, you can subscribe, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at the Retro Gaming Collective. But until then, I really appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.